is Haley from OneOneRabbits.com, and today I'm going to be doing a video all about aggression in rabbits. Rabbits are prey animals, and it is their natural instinct to run and be afraid. And that's simply because humans or any animal is seen as a predator to a rabbit. So that means when they see a human walking up to them or something, their response most likely will be flight or fight. So that pretty much means they'll run away or they'll try to fight back because they feel that they are in danger. However, many rabbits tend to be tamed quite easily, just with a couple quick tips. And another thing to remember is that rabbits aren't naturally aggressive. Rabbits aren't just born, being aggressive. They're born being maybe more scared than some other rabbits. Some rabbits are naturally outgoing and super, friendly immediately, while other rabbits are very timid and scared, and that's what people view as aggression. So something to remember is that throughout this taming process with your bunny is that you are just trying to control the situation in a way that makes them feel more comfortable and less afraid. The first tip I have is to spay and neuter your rabbit. Spaying and neutering, along with its health benefits, also helps behavior a ton. It helps with all those crazy hormones that make them very aggressive or cage territorial. If you guys know that Lulu, one of my bunnies, she's super friendly and she's the rabbit who likes to be pet the most, but she was actually one of my most aggressive rabbits when I first got her because she was so hormonal that she would just attack anyone who tried to reach in her cage. So yeah, just spaying her honestly removed all of that, and she's just the sweetest bunny ever now. Another thing to remember is that if your rabbit has suddenly become aggressive or suddenly changed their behavior, that could mean that they are sick or some sort of other illness, so please make sure you get them checked by a vet if this is something that has happened, overnight. They used to be super friendly and now they aren't. Rabbits are super good at hiding their illnesses, so one way they hide it is just becoming, withdrawn and within themselves. So definitely be sure to get your rabbit checked out by a vet if this is not normal for your bunny. The next tip is to learn rabbit language. So rabbits have a very distinct language of communication that is different from other predator animals like a cat or a dog that most people are used to. Because of this, the way you approach a rabbit, the way you interact with them is very, very different from other species such as cats or dogs, and because of this, many times the way you are approaching your rabbit is actually seen as a threat to them. Because of this, you need to learn how to communicate properly with your rabbit. I have a video all about how to pet a rabbit / how to approach your rabbit properly. This video just kind of goes through, the way rabbits communicate and all that stuff. So definitely check that video out. I would say probably 90% of the people who come and meet my rabbits approach my rabbits wrong, and that causes them to lunge at them, and most often my friends and family are scared because the rabbit is lunging at them, but it really isn't the rabbit's fault. It's the way they were trying to approach them. Another great tip, especially for rabbits who are new to your household, is to just sit on the floor and completely ignore your rabbit. Now that may sound really weird, but just let your rabbit run around either in a bunny-proof room or in a rabbit exercise pen, and just sit on the floor on your phone or read a book or bring your laptop in, something where you're not staring at your rabbit, you're not threatening them in any ways, you're just completely ignoring them. So rabbits are actually very curious creatures despite how scared they can be. So when you're just sitting there ignoring them, most likely your rabbit will start to come up and sniff you, investigate. Depending how comfortable they are, they may start climbing on you. When this happens, don't reach out and pet them, don't look at them too obviously. Another good advice is to have a little handful of treats, and every time your bunny comes close to your hand, just open your hand up and let them eat a treat. Don't reach your hand out and like try to shove the treat in their face, because that could scare them even more. Otherwise, you could sprinkle treats around yourself so that your rabbit comes up to you and starts eating. So that's another really good tip. The next tip is very easy, and that is just to respect your rabbit's territory. Your rabbit's territory will be their cage or whatever living situation they are in, and spend time in regularly. So this means this is their safe spot, and this is where they want to be alone and not be bothered. So because of that, you want to make sure you are not reaching inside their cage while your rabbit is in there, because that is really invading their privacy, and that scares rabbits a lot. Even my very friendly rabbits get aggressive when I stick their hands in their cage, just because that's their safe spot, and it's scary when a predator, not really a predator, but you know, a big creature is sticking their hand in there. So I tend to be able to refill water and food without them having too big of an issue. It's mostly reaching inside of their hidey houses, because their hidey houses are their spot. Another really good tip to remember is that some rabbits do not like to be touched. This is hard to, you know, settle with some people, because a lot of dogs and a lot of cats most of the time like to be pet, but I would say with rabbits it's almost like 50-50, or even less than that, maybe 25 to 75%. So 25% of rabbits maybe love to be pet and want to be pet all the time, whereas 75% of the rabbits just want to be, you know, not want to be touched. That doesn't mean that they don't love you. It doesn't mean that they hate you. It just means they don't like to be touched. But you have to remember that if your rabbit doesn't like to be pet, don't push it on them. That is going to stress the relationship even more. And there's many other ways that you can, you know, bond with your rabbit and have, you know, a loving relationship. And I would say one of the main things I would do is, if your rabbit doesn't like to be pet, is to do clicker training with them. Clicker training is something that is super fun for rabbits because they love treats, and it's super easy. Like, I find that my rabbits catch on to it super fast, so that is a really good plus. I have a couple videos on clicker training I will link on the screen, as well in the description. I would highly recommend that. You also want to remember that rabbits do not like to be picked up. I have had some people say that their rabbit loves to be picked up, and stuff like that. Now, I won't say there aren't rabbits out there who do like to be picked up, but I will say that 90% of the time when people come up to me and say, oh, my rabbit likes to be held, and I look at their rabbit while they're holding them, I can tell by the way the rabbit is breathing, by the way the rabbit is, you know, acting, that their rabbit is actually acting in fear. Some rabbits, when they become fearful, they become submerged and, like, you know, super, you know, they don't act out in aggression, but they actually act out in more of like, they sit still, they're shaking, they're scared, they're breathing really heavy. So I think some rabbits are better about being held, in the sense they don't kick and squirm, but honestly, I really don't think any rabbit likes to be held necessarily, unless it is their choice to hop into your lap or something like that. And that is simply because, again, it's the way rabbits communicate and stuff. It's, you know, when they're being lifted off the ground, in the wild, the only time a rabbit will ever be lifted off the ground is when they are being attacked by a predator. This is like if an eagle is swooping down and picking up a rabbit. And the last tip is to recognize when it's more than just a normal, I don't want to be pet. So, you know, there are tons of rabbits who don't want to be pet. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with them, but there is a couple bunnies who do suffer from extreme anxiety or extreme, fear, and that's just because either they were abused in their previous home or they weren't properly, in a good environment. Or it could just be something they were born with too, so it's not always like, abuse or anything. But, there's many different things that can cause rabbits to have over extreme anxiety. And in this case, that's something that you'll want to bring up with your veterinarian. Sometimes there is medications they would want to give if it's really bad. Otherwise, something that I would personally recommend is trying something called Rescue Remedy. It is a safe natural herb mixture that pretty much just calms your rabbit down a little bit. You can give like 4 drops. I do 4 drops twice a day for Ebony because she is so extremely anxious, and I literally have seen a different rabbit. She is completely turned into a way more confident rabbit. Our relationship has gotten a ton better, but I want to stress that this is not for everybody. You have to make sure that this is like your rabbit seriously has like an anxiety issue, because let's say for Mocha, he hates to be pet, but his isn't an anxiety issue. He just doesn't like to be touched. So that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope this helped you guys, as I know aggression in rabbits is something I see, almost everyone struggle with if they've had more than one rabbit. I've also had people say to me that they think their rabbit hates them, and that is not true either. I think it's hard to sometimes see that your rabbit truly does love you when they do act out in aggression, but once you learn how to properly, care for your rabbit and communicate with them, it will get a ton better, and I promise you that. As long as you remember that, not all rabbits are touchy-feely rabbits, so yes, please remember that. I also wanted to mention that I still have t-shirts available on my Teespring campaign. Super cute bunny and like little saying on there. I'm super excited to get mine. I'm gonna get some tank tops and some fitted shirts. I also have child sizes and adult sizes, so there's definitely something for everyone. So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon on a new one. Bye!